Hey everyone, this video is designed to help you prepare for the first unit test. And this first video will be to refresh you over domain and range. If you remember, domain is representing the x values. And it also, the question we always want to ask is how far left and how far right does the graph go? So you want to represent it in three ways. The first way we're going to write it is inequality notation. So we can set up our x with our inequality symbols pointing to the left always. For the first blank, we ask how far to the left does this graph go? So we're looking what's the farthest to the left this graph goes? Well, I know this arrow means it's going to keep going and on and on and on and on and on and on. So it's going to negative infinity. Remember that we can never be equal to infinity because infinity is a direction. It's not a destination. Remember our saying about Buzz Lightyear. You go into infinity and beyond, but you can never land in infinity. So don't put an equal to sign there. All right, the next question we ask is how far to the right does this graph go? Well, if I look at this side of the graph, it's going up and up and up. Keep going to the right, to the right, to the right. So this is going towards positive infinity. And again, it's not equal to. All right, for set notation, the only thing you need to do is add the little curly Q brackets and the X bar. Other than that, you just copy this and put it right in there. So add the bars, the brackets, and the X bar. That's it. Interval notation, you are either going to use a parentheses if it's not equal to, and a bracket if it is equal to. So we're going to put our smallest number first, which is negative infinity, comma, our biggest number, which is infinity in this case. And since we can never be equal to infinity, it's going to be parentheses in both cases. All right, now let's look at the range. I'm going to scoot the range down here so I have enough room. So the range, first we'll do our inequality format. Oops, and that should be a y. Now we're talking about the y values. So the first question we ask is how low does this graph go? Well, again, this is going to keep going down and down and down and down towards negative infinity. And then we ask how high is it going to go? Well, this graph is going up and up and up, so it's going towards positive infinity. For set notation, again, you do the same thing. You're going to add the little brackets, and this time you'll add the Y bar. Then copy this and put it right there. Last notation is interval notation, and it goes from negative infinity to positive infinity, and it is not equal to, so we put it in parentheses. Let's try another example. Okay, number 2. So for the domain, again, it's our x, and we're asking how far to the left does this graph go on the x-axis? Well, the farthest left that it goes is this point right here. And that's at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the farthest to the left is it goes negative 5 to the left, and since it's a filled-in circle, it is equal to right there. And then we ask how far to the right does that graph go? Well, this is how far right it goes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 again. And it's got an open circle, so it is not equal to. I am not going to put a little line underneath there. All right, set notation, add the little brackets with the X bar, and then copy. I can't write in this small space. And then copy that down. Hopefully you can read that. All right, interval notation. I put my smallest number, comma, my biggest number. On the negative 5, since it's equal to, it's got a closed circle, I need a bracket. Now let's look at the 5. The 5 is not equal to open circle, so I need a parentheses. All right, let's look at the range. The range is how low does it go to how high it goes. We're looking at the y-axis now. So the lowest that this graph goes is right there. That's the very lowest point on the graph. And if we look at the y-axis, that's at 0. So the lowest it goes is 0, and it's a filled-in circle, so we're going to put equal to. The highest this graph ever goes is this point right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is the highest it goes. And that one is an open circle, even though I've covered it up. There it is. And so it should not be equal to. All right, set notation. Add the little brackets with the y bar. Copy that down. Interval notation, you do the smallest number, comma, the biggest number. 0 is equal to, so we need a bracket. 6, it's not equal to, so we need the parentheses. One last example. All right, in this example, they didn't give us a graph this time, but we still need to find the domain and range. So what you can do is you can take your equation and put it in the y-equals of your calculator if you're not sure what that graph looks like. But we also know that since there's no y-intercept, it's going to go through 0 there. And my slope is 2, so it's going up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1. So if you put it in the y-equals of your calculator, you graph it by hand, that is the graph you're going to get. So we just have to ask what the domain and range is. They want it in interval form. Interval form is where we put the smallest number. And since this is keep continuing to go to the left and continuing going to the right, it's from infinity to infinity. And it's not ever equal to infinity. For the range, again, it keeps going down and it keeps going up. How low does it go and how high does it go? The lowest it goes is negative infinity. The highest it goes is positive infinity. And it is not equal to, so we need those parentheses. And that concludes our video on domain and range.